What is going on, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Goldgell Getaways Travel Podcast. My name is Josh, and each and every week I'm joined by my good friend and co-host, Matt. How you doing, man?
What's going on, Josh? Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. Another week down. It seems like it's just flying by.
Yep, week 9 for us.
Oh, my goodness. I can't believe it.
Already.
Yes. If you guys are new to the Goldgell Getaways Travel Podcast or Goldgell Getaways in general, we are a full-service vacation planner specializing in Disney vacations, cruises, and so much more. And we have travel planners who can help you plan your next destination vacation, whether you have big kids, small kids, no kids at all. All you have to do is head on over to goldgellgetaways.com to start planning. And because we have worked so hard selling some Disney vacations, our agency was or has knowledge of Disney products and has earned us the distinction of being named an authorized Disney vacation planner, which is really, really great. We were given this special designation by Disney as a result of our agency's ongoing focus and commitment to planning customized magical trips to the Disney parks, Disney Cruise Line, and other Disney vacation destinations around the world, which is really, really cool. So that's been a lot of hard work, and it's a nice special designation that we have as an agency to be authorized. So, and of course, Matt, each and every week, we are never alone, because if we were alone on this podcast, it probably wouldn't go well.
We'd bore a lot of people with just us talking.
We probably would. And so this week we have got another agent. Heather, how are you?
Good. How are you guys tonight?
We are doing well.
Heather.
Trying to stay cool. Starting to warm up a little bit down here.
I will trade with you any day, Josh. We hit 50 barely today.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
And that's a warm day right now.
Oh.
So
we have this issue where we start off like it's going to be a little bit cold in the morning and then your skin's melting. So I don't think you can tell in the podcast, but I got a really nice painful sunburn.
You can see the shirt tan.
So, can you? Is it that apparent? I mean, I'm so white, so.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, 2 weeks ago it was below 30 here, but as the high.
Oh,
yeah.
That is
I don't
rough.
want to live here no more. It's too cold.
I don't blame you. All right, so moving on into this week, in each and every week, our podcast is sponsored by Chef Adam, or you can learn to cook online with Adam. Each and every week, doing some new and exciting dishes, and you can do this all from the comfort of your home. Adam is a celebrity chef featured on the Food Network's Chopped and Restaurant Express with Robert Irvine. And if you're interested, how does it work? It's just like a Zoom class, basically. Adam will kind of work with you one-on-one if you need to, or there's larger classes like our Copycat Theme Park series that we're doing right now, where we take a favorite dish from the Disney parks and show you guys how to make it at home. So you can bring a little bit of that magic back home to you. And we have an updated email for everybody. It might be a little bit easier, which is adamgoldgell@gmail.com, or you can head on over to www.adamgoldgell.com.
So much easier.
So much easier, right? And this week, if you guys are interested, there is still time to sign up and get all of your supplies. We will be doing the Ronto wrap from Ronto Roasters over in Galaxy's Edge. So this is for what are we calling this? We don't want to get sued. This is technically the sausage and pork chop pita.
Yep.
And it's going to be really good. We're also going to be making a drink this week. It's called the Jedi Mind Trick.
Ooh.
I don't know if it's going to be super authentic to what you can get over at Oga's Cantina. I think that's what it's called. But hopefully it'll be pretty darn close. So, and speaking of Adam and everything that he does, we can give you guys a little brief look at how some of the classes work. This is Adam from a Zoom call, kind of showing you guys what happens and how it works. It's not just Copycat Theme Park Food. If you head on over to his website, you can find that there are all kinds of classes that you can take, from really easy to very complex dishes. Normally, this is stuff that you can do, for a family of 4 for dinner. So it's really great. We always have a lot of fun every Saturday. And like I said, if you're interested, you can send an email to adamgoldgell.com or at gmail.com. Sorry. And Matt, I'm going to let you take it away.
Yeah. So we got some group. We still got some group cruises coming up. We're going to start off with February 19th, 2022 cruise. Going out of Miami on the Symphony of the Seas. We're going to Perfect Day, Coco Cay, Antigua, and St. Thomas. We like that cruise so much. We're going to double up on that. We're going to do it again on April 16th, right around the school vacations. Great times. A lot of agents are going to be on there. Bring your friends. It's going to be a lot of fun times. You're going to email events@goldgellgetaways.com. Title, Welcome to Miami. 1 or 2, your choice. It's going to be a blast.
I love your specific subject lines. They're always so great.
I try.
Yeah, this is if you guys have never done a cruise before, this is a great introductory cruise. Maybe not a great introductory cruise. People would say that I'm wrong on that. That you should always do a 3 or 4 night, but I disagree. I think if you do a 3 or 4 night and you really love it, you're going to wish that you were on there for 7 nights. So,
right.
And what better time of the year to go on a cruise, especially if you're up in the Northeast? Am I right, guys? Than in February.
Yep.
I mean, so you get some nice warm weather. There are some occasional nights where you might need a sweatshirt, but other than that, it is always beautiful and a wonderful time. So,
yeah, it's going to be two great trips. I'm excited about it. I know I'm trying to figure out which one fits into my schedule, and I mean, I haven't had a chance to get to Perfect Day yet, but that's the one spot that I've been waiting to get to. I know, Josh, you've been there, and
we have been there.
Talk very highly of it. So
yeah, it was really nice.
Ready.
It was great, especially if you can get maybe one of those over the water bungalows. Let's split the cost on that one, Matt.
Yeah, hey, I'm down. I'm never shying away from a good time.
I'm down for
it. On my bucket list. That's what that
is.
is.
There's a lot. Can't you swim with pigs there too? I know that's away from.
Swimming
with pigs that piques my interest.
At Royal Caribbean's Island.
Yeah.
Boy, I don't know.
Pigs?
I don't know if
you can swim in pigs in the Caribbean.
So you are in the Bahamas. And I do know that in the Bahamas there are some islands where they will take you for an excursion to swim with pigs. This was actually something that we could have done when Taylor and I and a couple of the other agents went to Sandals last year for a fam trip. And we could have done that, but we didn't end up doing it because it kind of conflicted with some of the other scheduling events. But if you can do that, it looks like a really cool experience.
I think it sounds like so much fun. Who doesn't get to swim with pigs, and that's weird, but
and it's in crystal clear water too.
Right.
It's in crystal clear, beautiful, Caribbean, Bohemian water, whatever you want to call it. But I'm sure it is really great. So if that is an excursion, Matt, maybe we will have to look into that as well.
Yeah. Hey,
swimming with the pig. So we also have another group cruise, which we were going to do this year. We have pushed it back to next year. This is our 7-night Alaskan group cruise sailing out of Seattle, July 15th, 2022. We'll be trying to do a lot of stuff on the sea days, and we'll also be trying to do some port excursions as well. We're still kind of waiting to get some final details with everything that's going on, but hopefully, with the way things are rolling, fingers crossed, we are going to be, fully open, fully sailing by next year, with nothing to hold us back. So, and I think something that I'm really looking forward to is whale watching.
Oh yeah.
That'll be really cool. And of course, I have to show this clip every week. I keep saying I'm going to change it, but I never do. This was our first group cruise that we did. It was a lot of fun. And we had the conversation last week as to what song I was, dancing to.
It's Montel Jordan, Return of the Mac.
Return of the Mac, yes. And it was
I don't see it, but
listen, it's one of those things where you just kind of you're there,
you're in the zone,
and you're in the
pocket. You got it.
Right, exactly. But you can also send an email to events@goldgellgetaways.com if you're interested in that, and in the subject line,
be creative, Alaska.
You could just put "Be Creative Alaska" in there. That would work too. You can just put Alaska Group Cruise 2022, and I believe Pam or whoever else it goes to will know exactly what that is for. So.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that so much. Like, I know it's a little over a year and a half away.
I know.
But now it gives us a little bit more time to kind of plan a little bit more.
I know. And I think that's kind of something that we have kind of looked at it too, is instead of being able to go this year, we can kind of roll some of that money over to next year and maybe do something that we weren't going to do. So.
And I'm intrigued to hit up Seattle, like go a couple days early and be able to check in the sites in Seattle a little bit. Check out Pike's Place a little bit, watch him throw some fish around.
Yeah, so we haven't really discussed that yet as far as doing that as with the group, but that's definitely an option. I know Taylor and I are really wanting to get in there a couple of days early for those exact same reasons, to go and see a little bit of Seattle before we sail out. So,
I'm trying to make it like a big whirlwind, possibly head down into Anaheim, check out Disneyland after.
Wow, that is quite a trip.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
It's worth it though. I lived half an hour from Disney World for 4 years.
Go big or go home. That's what Alaska trip is. So,
absolutely.
You take advantage of it when you got it.
Yeah. So, nothing else to add there. I think we are going to move on to this week's news and. Cool. I think we may have talked about this last week. We're going to move right into Walt Disney World stuff here, which is that packages are now available all the way, to the end of June 2022. And of course, being that we are a travel agency, if you guys need any help with your planning, you can shoot us an email to info@goldgellgetaways.com, or you can head on over to www.goldgellgetaways.com.
Right.
We've just been redesigning the website, which looks really nice.
It looks awesome. It looks really good. For Josh, were you and Ryan taking care of that one?
Mostly Ryan has been taking care of that.
Ryan's a rock star.
So yeah, I did a little bit for the video. That's the video that's changed on the website, but that's really about it. So I give him most of the credit here for everything that's changed. I'm assuming. Go ahead. No, go ahead, Matt.
Oh, in the like I was going to mention, Josh, about especially with the packages being until June, that takes up a good portion of the 50th anniversary that's coming up. Anybody that's looking to book, I'm telling all my clients, book early, because once they make announcements on what's going to be exactly happening during the 50th, all the way until December 2022, resorts are going to get booked up, tickets are going to get booked up. So if anybody's looking to get involved in the 50th anniversary, jump on it, touch base with some of our agents, and let's get the ball rolling. I know I'm excited. I'm gonna be hitting it at the end of October. Going to hit it a couple times next year. And it's a great year to be at Disney.
Yeah, and speaking of, they have already sold out for Magic Kingdom Park Pass reservations. Obviously, this is something that they said is potentially going to continue into 2022. We'll see if that actually does happen. But Magic Kingdom is, as of now, officially sold out for, I believe, everything. Single day, resort, annual pass holders. So if you're interested, you might not be able to get there on October 1st, but there is plenty of time to celebrate throughout the entire year. So if you're thinking about it, this is the year to get down to Disney and check out all the cool, amazing things. So, And speaking of some of those amazing things, Matt, Heather, I'm assuming you guys have seen the construction that continues on the barges for Harmonious in Epcot. They have said that this is going to be probably one of the largest nighttime shows. Is it at all of the parks?
They said on Disney property, so I'm assuming it's all parks. Maybe even include stuff at Disneyland. Who exactly knows what they mean by that? But like by looking at the size of the barges that are out there, it's going to be a big event.
Those things are massive.
They are massive. I'm going to actually let me see if I can grab a picture real quick to throw up here. I should have had one earlier, but it's funny because we've been over there in Epcot a couple of times since they have put up the new ring, and we've heard a couple of different things that either it looks like something from Marvel's Endgame, or it's a giant eyesore out in the middle of the lake. And what's really funny is that they have now gone through and put up all of these signs basically along the water's edge where you can get up right next to the water. And it basically just shows you kind of this picture of what it's supposed to look like during the day and what it is supposed to look like during the night. And I don't think Disney's actually posted that yet. And I didn't take a picture, and I should have. But, to be honest with you, once they're finished and they get the other, I think there's 2 more barges that are supposed to come in. Once that's finished, I think it's actually going to look really nice during the day. It's going to be a huge water fountain. And then, of course, I mean, holy cow, this show for nighttime is, already supposed to be spectacular. So best of the best. So I'm okay with it being an eyesore for right now, knowing that it's probably going to end up being really, really great when the time comes. So,
Josh, did you hear anything? Like I heard that they were doing a little bit of testing on it recently.
They
hear
actually
anything about that?
Yeah, they have been doing a lot of testing. Actually, we have gotten pictures from a few people of early morning testing where they are running the fountains themselves to make sure that the barges are working. And then they've actually have done firework displays over there for testing as well at nighttime. So it's coming along, and it is going to be somewhere around the corner. I don't think we've got an official start date yet, but hopefully we'll see it start with the 50th celebration. A lot of stuff has been pushed off. So hopefully this will be a nice,
I think that would fit in. That would fit in time wise perfectly. It's still 8 months away.
Yeah,
and gives them enough time to get everything in place, a couple trial runs, and then start it right with October 1st.
For sure, yeah. Absolutely. And I think the other big news that came out of the parks today, if you guys haven't seen, I think we did post something on our Goldgell Getaways Instagram and Facebook page, which is the Polynesian. And I got some, these are all from Disney Parks blog images. So these are copyright of Disney Parks. But this is what you guys are looking at right now is the new entrance here to Poly. And it looks amazing. Very different than what was there before, but is very beautiful.
Do they have a rough timeline on when they plan on finishing that?
I have not heard a timeline yet. But it looks like they're a ways off still. Just judging by, we were just there, was it like last week or something like that? And this whole lobby area, which you guys can see, like this like little peak in this tower, like the only thing that's really up, and they haven't even started, are these columns that you can see here. Those were just wires, basically big giant pieces of rebar sticking out of the ground. So they still have a ways to go, but it's coming along. The other thing that they were releasing today is you guys can see these redesigned rooms, Moana themed, and I think that they look absolutely amazing.
Oh, they look gorgeous.
They do, and I love the theming of Moana. I actually really enjoyed this movie. I thought it was great. So, it's a nice updated touch too that I think Polly really, really needed. And then we've got a picture here of the bathroom, pretty bright, open. So, and this is just one of their standard rooms too, as you can see with the two full or the 2 queen beds or whatever they are. I don't remember, but
and a fold down bed.
That's
yes, over there in the corner. Yeah, I didn't see that. Good call.
I have 3 kids. That 5th bed is handy.
That's nice.
Yeah. So pretty exciting. We've never stayed over there before. So maybe whenever this opens up, we're going to try and get into there and see some of that stuff. But so we don't have any Disney Cruise Line news, so to speak. Matt, I'll throw it over to you for some Universal.
We got some Universal news came out today. The 30th anniversary of Halloween Horror Nights is going to start on select nights starting September 3rd all the way to Halloween. Not much has been given on what exactly is going to take place, except for one house so far. It's going to be based off of Beetlejuice.
Love that movie.
Obviously, they're going with that one. The sequel's finally coming out. Was it 20 something years later? I'm excited about this. I know we talked about it off air a little bit. Some of us agents we're actually going to be down there at the end of October. Luckily, some of them are going to hold my hand through it, and so I don't cry and freak out. But I'm excited to finally get my first HHN in this October.
You know, Matt, I think it's only customary that for your very first HHN, when we go through the house, you actually go first. And
I'm down. I'm
back. We just push you forward the whole time.
Like, I know you can't video in the houses, Josh. I get that.
Right.
Could you GoPro me so it's facing me, so like you can just see the tears?
I wish.
So
that
it's
would
like
be great.
So it's like my face, like the Blair Witch Project, where it's like the girl crying. Like, you want views, Josh? That's how you're going to get views. Watching me cry, hysterically.
I would love to do that. That would be great. Unfortunately, we won't be able to do that. But what we can do is, as soon as we get to the end, we can throw the camera up just to get those lasting, few emotions in your eyes and on your face. So
somebody better get me
I could get down there beforehand, Matt. I'd go with you and I'd cry with you.
Oh man, it's such a fun time. It's really not that scary. I know a lot of people, maybe it is really that scary, but it's
some people have a tolerance, Josh. It's like
that is true. That is true. This is true. Some people say I want to see that, Matt.
What
Marianne says absolutely Matt goes first.
That Marianne's the one that's convinced me. She's gonna hold my hand the whole time, she said.
Eric says I would pay to see Matt cry and snot running down his face.
Eric, we're going in this together. You and me.
It's a really great time. If you guys have never done a HHN night before, it's a lot of fun. And what's really great is that you don't have to have a park ticket. This is a separate ticketed event. So we've got the 50th celebration going on right now with Disney World. Well, it's not going on right now, but it will be when HHN is going on. So a perfect time to kind of do that Universal and Walt Disney World kind of. You don't necessarily need to do a split stay, I don't think, but do a night probably during the week. It's going to be a little bit less busy. And if you really want to maximize your time, you get an express pass and you can do the houses, depending on which one you get, you can do them as many times as you want. So
here's a question, because
I've
never been to Universal Studios before.
Okay.
So with HHN and you get a separate ticket, are you only allowed to go in the houses, or are you allowed to explore other places of the park?
So that's a great question, Heather. With the HHN ticket, that is basically, think of it as like Mickey's Not So Scary. It's basically the same thing. So you can still go in and ride the attractions and eat food and do all of that other stuff, but you get the added bonus of the houses, the scare zones, and the specialty foods and stuff like that. So
cool.
I think it does. It depends on the night that they do it, because they're doing the, like the, I don't know what the technical term is, but basically it's priced differently depending on when you go and how far in advance you buy your tickets. So if you're, for everybody out there who's watching, if you're interested, it's always best to buy them as soon as you can to get a cheaper price rather than waiting to the last minute. Yeah. Especially that's right. Well, they haven't yet, but especially with express passes. If you guys are going to do express passes, buy those far in advance, because what they'll do is they'll have on their website and it says, "Oh, Express Pass like $60." But if you buy it like that day, sometimes they're like almost $200 per person. So
what does the Express Pass do?
Express Pass is just like a fast pass, so to speak. It allows you to bypass all of the standby lines for the houses. And I think because of how they work, it actually also works for the attractions as well. So you can, skip the lines for the houses, skip the lines for the attractions, and do so much in a single night there and get a lot done. And they run pretty late. I think they might go from like 7 to like 2 o'clock in the morning, 7 at night to 2 o'clock in the morning. So a lot of time usually.
So with Universal making this announcement, who knows what might come up in the next couple of weeks with Disney with the Not So Scary. I mean, they remember they throw a party too.
Yes, they do. And Eric has a great question here. Do they let you in a few hours early like they do, like Disney does? They don't actually. For the most part, Universal will shut down the entire park and have everybody come out, and then they will start letting people in for HHN. So they still might let you in maybe like an hour before the official time or something like that, but they do try to get everybody out of the park before they start letting anybody in because they don't want anybody trying to, stick around. So that hasn't paid for it, but cool. I'm super excited. This is going to be a great year. I'm so pumped. Especially that Matt's coming.
I'm dreading this conversation I had with, so I'll say, like, I talked to Marianne about it earlier today.
Yeah.
And she's literally going to hold my hands, make sure I'm okay, which really means she's going to hold my hand in and then just kick me to be first and leave me by myself and be scared.
Well, I'll be there. I'll be there with you.
Thanks, buddy. That's what friends are for.
Exactly. All right.
To watch each other cry.
Moving on to some other cruising industry news. We've got some major news from Royal Caribbean this week that they have announced that they will be setting sail out of Israel on their brand new Odyssey of the Seas cruise ship. This will be starting in May. These are going to be 3 to 7 night journeys to the Greek Isles. And for the first time ever, basically, that this has happened, which is pretty big. But I think the even bigger news here with this whole thing is that every single person on the ship will be vaccinated, including passengers and crew. I'm not sure. They didn't give details exactly how that's going to be happening. If somehow, they're going to be checking, you can't get on the ship unless you've been vaccinated, or if Royal Caribbean is going to provide a vaccination for you before you get on the ship. I don't know. But that's some pretty big news. And the only people who can set sail on this ship are residents of Israel. So no flying over there to try and jump on and start cruising. You have to be living there. So, but it's pretty big. And I did pull down a little imagery here. That's not what I wanted to do, of Odyssey of the Seas. This is just kind of like their, little info chart of the ship. So pretty exciting.
This is their newest ship, isn't it?
This is their newest ship in the Quantum class, I believe is what it is. Technically, this was supposed to be sailing out of Fort Lauderdale, as you can kind of see in the top area there for this past year. And of course, that didn't happen. And then they were going to be going over into Europe or the Mediterranean this summer anyways. So it just makes sense for where they're starting. And is pretty smart. I think, this will be a way for them to start generating a little bit of revenue. And we'll actually get to see maybe how they're going to handle, if they're going to handle anything with the guests and restrictions. I mean, everybody has to be vaccinated, so we'll have to just wait and see. But
right.
Yeah.
Josh,
so
I got
go
some
ahead,
more
Matt.
cruise news. That's something that one of the cruise lines we really don't talk about much is the inaugural sailings out of the Virgin Voyages. So Sir Richard Branson's cruise line that's supposed to be starting up.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So they're pushed all the way, canceling all the cruises all the way to the end of June now.
Mm-hmm.
So they were supposed to set sail, I want to say, starting last October. So
wow.
they haven't even hit water with guests yet.
Hmm.
So they keep getting pushed back. And this is one of the newer cruise lines. Like obviously they haven't had any of their. I think they have 2 ships right now, haven't sailed out. And everything on it is going to be included, including your beverages, from what my understanding is.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and they said no tipping too. Everything's built in. I'm intrigued by it a little bit. I haven't really looked that much into it, but
Because Virgin is the adult only cruise line, isn't it?
Yes.
Oh wow, I didn't know that. Interesting. Yeah. Wow. Okay.
And I look at it this way: we know him, Sir Richard Branson. He's going to do it right. He's going to spend money, and he's going to put one of the better products out there.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. No doubt.
I'd go on an adult only cruise. Heck yeah.
Of course. I mean, adult only for a lot of stuff is the way to go sometimes. I mean, but I know it's hard for some people to leave their children behind. Maybe. But they're in loving hands of somebody, I'm sure. So yeah, cool. We do have what is 100%. I do want to state this very, very, very clearly that this is a rumor. This has not been, I believe, confirmed as of yet, at least of us being live. There may have been some other press releases that have been released and we have missed it. But there is a rumor and there is some information to back it up that it may happen, that Disneyland may reopen starting April 1st. And it's not just Disneyland. This is going to be most of the other California parks in the area will be reopening April 1st. So we have no official confirmation from Disney. I don't think any official confirmation from Universal. But Matt, what you were talking about earlier with the baseball teams out there.
Yeah, so the only place that I've seen a public announcement has come out of the Los Angeles Angels organization. Obviously, Josh and I talk. I'm a baseball guy in the real world. They have announced that they're going to allow fans starting on that April 1st, which is awesome. The only thing that scares me a little bit about this, what is April 1st?
April Fool's Day.
It's April Fool's Day. So that's why when we're talking about earlier, it's like, do we talk about this? Do we not? Is this one big ha 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 to us?
Oh, that's a total. Now that I think about it, now that you say that, it's like that's a total joke. There's no way.
But one of the
so mean.
one of the sources we saw is a reputable newspaper out of the California area. So, like, I think over the next couple of days, you'll see the snowball effect of other sports teams. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I'm not a basketball guy, but there's a guy named LeBron James who's pretty good, who plays out of LA, who I'm sure fans want to see him play.
Yeah, and it looks like most of the papers are running with this in LA, or at least over in California. Apparently they did release some new guidance today, which may or may not be why this sudden announcement. But April 1st, now that you say that, Matt, I'm a little skeptical myself now.
You mean that's just a day that you don't?
Well, yeah,
don't mess with.
I mean, LA Times here does have a few numbers. They're saying capacity will be limited to 15% for parks and counties that are in the red tier, and the cap rises to 25% once a county progresses to orange, and 35% once reaching the more lenient tier, which is yellow. So, being in Florida, we don't have. I don't know what any of this means because basically the entire state of Florida has been open for a long time now. Technically, if Disney wanted to go 100%, they are allowed to, but they have not done that yet. That is their choice. Same thing with potentially Universal. So the way that California works, their system of reopening certain things is a little bit different. Looks like it's a little bit more complicated, but it looks kind of promising, like it might happen. So,
right,
and that is really great.
That's a good sign.
So, yeah, but cool. Anything else to add, guys, before we move on?
Yeah, Yeah, Josh, I wanted to hit you with this one because I really haven't talked much about. Yeah, I know. I'm the guy with all the. Hold on a second. I want to pull up the exact title so I don't mess it up.
Oh,
So,
boy.
what are your thoughts? Okay, since we're travel agents, we deal with resorts and hotels. This first space hotel that's planning to open in 2027. Have you read about that?
Wait, what? No, I haven't
Yeah.
read about this. There's a space hotel that's supposed to open in 2027.
Yeah. World's first space hotel scheduled to open in 2027.
Where?
In
space.
space, Heather.
Well, no,
Space.
criminy, but like, are they talking about near like a planet, or are they talking just in the middle of nowhere?
I
It
don't
sounds
know
like
that
it'll.
much.
I mean, I'm going to make an assumption here that this is going to be something that's going to be very similar to the space station.
Got it.
But unless they're going to start construction here relatively quickly, I don't really see that coming to fruition by 2027.
I just wanted to have some fun with that little conversation right there.
Well, I mean, hey, that is really cool. If they do it,
can we get a fam trip?
I can't even begin to imagine. Okay, the cost, right? Let's negate the cost of the hotel itself, right? You got to think about even getting there. Okay, you got to jump on Jeff Bezos's, $1 trillion spaceship. Or
do we have to prep by going on like Mission Space like 50 times in a row? Like
that's fine by me. I love Mission Space, but that won't bother me.
GoldCon 2029 space.
That works for me. I'll do it.
Pam, make it happen.
That is really interesting. I think that opens up a whole can of worms, right? Because space travel has to be really, really safe. Is it really safe? Maybe, but I think we still have a lot more testing to do before we get to that point. So I don't know. That's a good question, Matt. I like that.
We'll look into it. We'll readdress this in the next episode.
Okay. Yeah. We'll get right on that.
Nope.
All right, guys. Well, this week's topic is something that is revolving around Walt Disney World, and we're going to be talking about our top 5 table service restaurants for families. You don't necessarily have to be a family to go eat here, obviously. Taylor and I are grown adults, and
but you're a family.
Any of these. Well, I mean, yeah, but I think when we talk about family, we think. To me, I'm thinking, parents and kids, right? I mean, maybe not. Maybe I'm way out in left field, but obviously this is not a concrete list, so please don't write us hate mail. If you
or send it to me, just send that you hate to me.
Yeah, or just send it to Matt. If there is something though that you think is like, oh, you guys missed this or should talk about this, definitely let us know in the comments as we're talking about it. Hold on one second.
Is that Sully? Jazzy? Give him the pep talk.
That's both of them.
And Heather, you were scared that your kids were going to walk in.
More hot water,
Right?
please.
I locked the door.
Nobody can see you.
But my husband's also downstairs with all of the kids. So
my assistant just arrived home, and I needed her to get me some more tea. So, all right, cool. Let's break into this week's topic, which is top 5 table service restaurants for families around Walt Disney World. This is both theme parks. This can also be resorts. And Heather, why don't we start off with you? Because I think this is your list. So
a lot of people might not agree with me on my number 5, and I'm okay with that. But my kids love fish and fishing. So for my kids, the Coral Reef was a big hit with my kids. Because when we went, the actual scuba divers came in.
Ooh.
And so they were doing their thing, and we were sitting right next to the aquarium with our kids. So the food was, pretty good. We all pretty much had steaks, and my kids had mac and cheese. So they have the basic, kids meals for kids. But my kids got to watch the scuba divers feed the fish and take care of the fish. And my kids have a great time doing that kind of stuff. So for me, that was an easy pick for my kids. And I went over my list with my kids to see if they agreed or disagreed with me. And this was the one that all my kids said, yep, I want to go back to that one, Mom.
I see now. I don't feel so bad that I said that this is when I say families, I think of with kids, considering that you consulted your children while making the list. So,
but that's not a bad option. You know, it's
not at all.
Especially like if you do like seafood, like you said, it does have it's kind of a show in the middle. Like you got your fish, and like you said, you saw the scuba divers.
Yeah,
I mean,
and most of the tables face the aquarium in that restaurant. If you've never been in there, like a good majority of the tables all face at some point. There's not one bad like place to sit in this place. They have it on like a tiered system. So it's, you know, you got the main level, you got the upper level, and you have the upper level. So it's like a stadium that they have the different levels, and everybody can see the fish. And I'm not a seafood person, and I enjoyed every bit of the food that I had.
Yeah. I think my favorite thing about this place, because this is actually a restaurant that Taylor and I really enjoy going to. I will say that it seems like it happens a lot where people are like, this place is awful. I don't know why you guys continue to go there. But we have always really enjoyed the food. But I think I am in the same place as your kids in that I really like to watch the fish and see, and just get to see the scuba divers come down in and swim around and interact with the kids that are at the tables and stuff, especially right by the glass. So
yeah,
it's a good one for sure. I was trying to save a picture here and pull it up for people who don't really know exactly what it is, but
yeah, I've never had the opportunity to go there. Maybe that will get on the October list. You know what I mean? I am a New Englander who loves his seafood, so
I actually have two different lists for our trip. So if the dining plan comes back, we have one full list, and if the dining plan doesn't come back, we have another list. That's all my
so well, this is a great question then, which is, when you guys come down, do you guys normally do the dining plan?
Every single time.
Every time? Okay, cool.
Yep.
Cool.
So for us, I actually have a son that has an eating disorder. And so to tell him he can have anything on any of the menus anywhere we go is a huge hit for my kids. But yeah, we get it every time. And last time we saved nearly $800 by having the dining plan.
Wow.
Right on.
Because we kept the receipts and we tallied how much we paid versus how much we actually spent on it. And I have a whole spreadsheet of like what my kids would eat and how much it would be. Oh yeah, I have this huge spreadsheet that I do for it. And my husband looks at me like I'm crazy. And that's one of the reasons he told me to become a travel agent, was because I have this crazy spreadsheet that I do every time we go. We always do a sit-down breakfast. We do a sit-down dinner. And then we just do whatever we can in the middle. Sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. We left with probably 10 snacks, and that was it.
Oh, wow.
So
when we used to come down with Taylor's family, we always did the deluxe dining plan.
Yep.
And I think that was something that Taylor's mom always tried to do, was keep receipts and just make sure, that we were, because I think there are some times where you do sometimes maybe need to order something specific, a higher end price option, but yeah, so you guys can see I'm doing a little screen share here from the website. And you can see here perfectly how they have these tables situated, where they're not necessarily angled or facing directly at the glass, but they're turned so that you can easily just turn your head and look and see what's happening. I'm actually really surprised that none of these photos on their website actually have the scuba divers in them. So
I thought that would be a selling point.
Well, right? I think they mainly do it because, like, when they're there, so that kids do have some type of entertainment. So we sat right in that front row.
Oh, like right up against the glass?
Yep.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, because our daughter was a toddler, so they just put her in a height chair.
Oh, awesome.
So, but my kids were right up against the glass, and my boys sat right next to the glass, and they loved every single minute of it.
Awesome. I would change my number 5, but Matt and I talked briefly about this, so I'm going to save it. Unless you were going to, Matt, did you say it was going to be number 4?
The one that I said, and you're like, "Ooh, I didn't even think of that one."
Yeah.
You can't steal that.
I'm just going to agree with you. So.
Oh, okay. So my number 5, because we won't give away my 4 yet. I'm in Epcot just like you, but I'm going Garden Grill. I like the all you care to enjoy style of it. A lot of the vegetables coming from Living with the Land, and it's character based. You know what I mean? Chip and Dale and Mickey, Farmer Mickey. So, and how about that mac and cheese they have there? That's
oh my gosh, people rave about it.
Mm-hmm.
So I've never had the dinner option. We went, and that's actually my number 3, because it was one of my kids' favorites as well. But we had the breakfast when they did breakfast.
Okay.
Because my kids ate 2 plates of those cinnamon things.
Oh yeah. I can vouch for that. That's that's how you start your day right there.
Yep.
I'll pull this up real quick just so everybody can get an idea of what it looks like. I don't think we've done breakfast there before.
Right now, it's not even on their menu.
Yeah, I think
you can't
we've
even
only
pick
done
it
their
right now.
dinner. So,
and it's
and
also cool because this one rotates
right. Yes.
around.
I know they were going through like a little refurb a little while ago, and now it's back rotating. You know what I mean? It stopped rotating for a little bit. Now it's back up and going again.
Oh wow, I didn't even know that they had stopped the rotation. Yeah. If you don't, did you mention this that it does overlook Living with the Land, the attraction?
I did, and the vegetable, a lot of the vegetables coming off your skillet is coming right from underneath you, kind of.
Yeah, and this is really nice. It's a nice meet and greet with Chip and Dale. I think the dinner one also has Mickey, maybe. And
I think it's Farmer Mickey and Pluto.
Okay. All right. Cool. Yeah. Yeah. They don't even have breakfast listed on there. So, because Epcot doesn't open until 11 anyway, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
But it's a great option. Taylor and I have eaten here before. Like I said, we enjoyed it. Is it my favorite? I don't know if I would have put this in my list on the top 5, but it is still a pretty popular one that I know that a lot of people do really tend to enjoy.
Well, because if I'm correct, it's one of the very few places on property right now that the characters are actually still there, even though they don't go table to table anymore.
Correct.
Am I right? Okay.
I believe that is correct. That they don't directly come up to the table, but they still come somewhat close so that you can get like their distant selfies or whatever you want to call them.
From what I've seen, it's like, so if you've never been to Garden Grill, it's tiered. So you got the bottom tier and then you got an upper tier. It looks like they're seating people at the bottom tier and the characters are in the upper tier walking through.
Oh, nice.
Oh, right. Okay. Nice. Perfect.
So it's kind of like they're on stage a little bit.
Yeah. Well, that works then.
Yeah.
Okay. So we want to move on to number 4.
Mine was the Crystal Palace.
And I would agree with that. I would definitely put Crystal Palace on my list. This is a place that we always really enjoy going to. Matt, have you been there before?
I have. I tried to get actually a reservation because I was interested in trying the new style that they have right now with the non-buffet. Because it looks like you can eat like prime rib. So that piqued my interest a little bit. But I have been there with the Winnie the Pooh setup, and I'm a sucker for buffet. I'm not gonna lie. I like my food. Whenever you can just give me endless amounts of food and Disney characters, I'm probably there.
I just looked at my list and I noticed 4 out of the 5 are character meet and greets.
Hey, and that's fine though. Remember, it's family based.
That's okay though. I mean, when you're talking about families and you're talking about with your kids, right? Yeah. I mean, it makes sense, really.
Well, and for me this time going, when we come in October, the hardest part for me is, we don't have the buffets to choose from. So that's the hard part for me this time around. And so at this point, I think we're going to miss the buffets, which is going to stink for my kids. But we can still pick something from the menu for my kids to eat, because there's always something that your kids will eat.
Yeah, we have not been back since they've launched this new type of menu that basically is just served. I mean, like this, basically the family style. But this is a great place. This is a place that for Taylor and I and her family, we always make fun of her grandma because I think it might have been Piglet or something like that, where the characters would come by and we would get seated in this at not really a weird time, but it would be like, one character, we would have just missed one character as we got seated, and you'd have to wait until they restarted their whole cycle to see that character again. And usually once they ended their first cycle, we had already finished eating. We're kind of ready to go. And I wouldn't say that the staff was trying to get us to leave the table, but Taylor's grandma was like, she's like, we are not leaving until we see Piglet. Piglet needs to come to our table. We are not leaving. Which is always, it's fun. And this is a great one for us. I really do enjoy this one. And like I said, I would definitely have this on my list of top 5 places to eat, especially with kids.
The people that do the characters, that are the characters at these restaurants, are some of the best characters I've seen in the parks. Yes. They're so interactive, so just hands-on. And there's a picture I have of my husband with Tigger that at some point tonight I will only send to you two. And my husband he looks like he's ready to kill me because Tigger is just all in his business. But they're so interactive and so fun with the kids.
Yeah.
That it's one of, these are, like I said, my favorite places to take my kids because of how interactive these people are and how fun they make it for the kids.
And I think this is also one too, Heather, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that they do the march around the restaurant. Isn't that right? Don't they do that?
Yes.
Here? Okay.
Yep. My kids marched around the restaurant here, and they did it at Chef Mickey's. At least they used to.
Oh my goodness. I just saw a comment come through of a restaurant that I'm a little shocked that I did not pick myself, but we'll get to that later. So
I think I see which one it is.
Matt, you want to
my number 4? Yep. This is my sleeper on my list. I'm going Tepenito in Japan. Entertainment for kids. Everybody likes a good hibachi. You know what I mean? A good show by a chef, and you can get chicken, you can get steak, and I think the entertainment value itself is right up there. So that's why I put it at number 4. And the food is awesome.
I agree. This was a place that we brought my brother for the first time way back in like 2013. And I really was afraid that he might not eat some of the food because the atmosphere is a little bit different than what he was used to. But they still had stuff on the menu that he was willing to eat, which is, I think most kids will eat fried rice and most kids will eat chicken. And then on top of that, just like you said, Matt, the entertainment here is top notch. And of course, it's kind of the same entertainment that you would get at most hibachi places, but right. It's a little bit of Disney mixed in. Exactly. Right. So this is a favorite place for us. Go ahead, Heather. Sorry.
We actually have a restaurant exactly like this here at home, and my kids won't eat here.
Really?
So my kids are extremely picky eaters, very picky, where even fried rice, chicken. So this is a restaurant that me and my husband would absolutely go do on a date night at Disney, which is what we're doing when we go at the end of the year, because my brothers are coming with us and I have babysitters.
Oh, perfect. That's awesome.
That's a good option.
Yep. But this is actually, like I said, I think this would be cool because it's just like one of the ones we have here in Minnesota. But unfortunately, this is one of the few my kids wouldn't even eat at. So,
Matt, did you mention too about the seating arrangements here?
I didn't. So
okay. Go ahead.
It's seats 4, 6, 8. So it could probably sit a whole family. So you're pretty much sitting table side. I consider it table side right on the chef's table, and he puts on a show, and I like it when I'm with my whole family. So like if someone else has like shrimp, if there's a couple extra shrimp, somehow they end up on my plate. So that's me being Matt, the guy that likes to eat a lot. So I like the show aspect of it. You know what I mean? The onion volcano trick.
Oh yeah.
The breaking of the egg.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? The literally they light the table on fire pretty much.
Oh yeah. And most kids I think tend to really like that as well. A little bit of it's not a little bit, it's a lot of flames that come up and almost into your face sometimes.
When in doubt, sit back.
Right. Yes, of course.
I have seen recent videos on YouTube where they do have barriers up now for different size families at different tables.
Yeah.
So I did see that. I think that's definitely worth mentioning nowadays because people are so worried about everything going on, but that makes it so much easier for families.
The one thing on those is I've seen it, they're interchangeable. So if they need to adjust, it's not like, oh man, this is only a table for 2. If they need to make it a spot for 3,
they can move it.
They can unclip it and move it over one.
Yep.
Yeah. And that's actually what I was, trying to mention there earlier is that,
sorry.
Oh no, you're okay. Is that the seating here is not necessarily like, you could be sat with another family. So something to keep in mind. I really don't think that it dampens your experience at all.
Oh, God, no. I think it makes it more fun.
Right. Yeah. You can meet some new people, have a conversation with somebody, and still enjoy all of the entertainment that comes with Tepenito. So,
and Josh, I'm gonna go from the adult point of view on this one. I'm not going with sake. I'm not going that one. I've noticed they put Wagyu on the menu on the hibachi recently. So a little Wagyu. Yeah.
Well, we haven't been there in it's probably been almost 2 years now. But please don't tell Taylor that there's Wagyu beef on the menu.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm sure she's aware of it.
I'm sure she probably is too.
Because my source is one of your sources.
Oh well, okay, that's great. Yeah. Well, speaking of adult things, the only thing that this is missing from a traditional, from a traditional restaurant like this is just the spraying of sake into your mouth. So I don't know
water for the children.
Well, it happens in some places. Sandals is a great example of that. So no children allowed there. Cool. Anything else to add on number 4?
Nope. I think we're bumping to number 3.
Mine is Garden Grill. So we've already had that conversation.
Do you have a different one, Matt?
I do. I have Sci-Fi Cafe.
Oh, sci-fi.
I like the when you walk in, you're inside, but you're kind of outside. It's kind of weird, and especially if you have the reservation, you can get in the cars. I know they do have some other seating besides that. Sitting in the cars and watching the old I'm not even going to call them horror movies. They're kind of like horror comedy nonsense of the old days.
Old black and whites.
Okay, is that what they're technically called?
That's what I've heard them called before. This is on our list to do when we go in October. So this is definitely
the food, look at that. It's like it looks like you're outside at a drive-in, but you're inside.
It's definitely classically themed.
Yes, the theming of it is great, especially where like you walk into the restaurant, you're walking behind that the fencing where you really, especially if you're not familiar with it, you don't know, and then you take that left and it's like bam, there it is.
Hey Josh, have you guys done a video on this one?
I know that we've eaten here plenty of times. Have we done a video on it? I'm not sure if we have. I feel like we have done one. But I agree that this is a fantastic place. Heather, you said you guys are going here in October, so you haven't been here yet?
Nope. That's the plan.
I think your boys will like it.
Yeah, it's Taylor's sisters don't really enjoy the movie aspect of it. And of course, I wish that they actually had some stuff up on the screen there so that you could actually see what it is instead of
news for the future.
But they don't really enjoy those films. But I mean, as an adult, I like it. I think it's funny. I don't know if they were supposed to be horror movies back in the day, but you watch it now and it's like this is a little bit more comical than it is scary. And I mean, like you guys said, I mean, like look at how great the theming is here in this restaurant. So it's definitely not this bright. I will say that it is a little bit darker.
This is like during the day with the lights on type of picture.
Yeah.
And the fun part about it too, Josh, and I when I was there, I went with a bigger party. Like say it's you and Taylor are there. Like say, let's use that red car for example. If you sit in the front, is another people sit in the back?
Traditionally, they would seat another couple.
Right.
Behind.
Traditionally,
right.
Pre now, but like I went with a family of 6, so we've got one of the bigger cars. You put the kids together, let them get their chicken nuggets or whatever, and you can have an adult meal. Put them in front of you and just.
Well, I mean, but that is a good idea, though.
It is.
I mean, as long as the kids are able to, behave by themselves, obviously.
I wouldn't trust it.
I don't know if I would trust Taylor's younger sister, but
So mine are 13, 9, and 4.
Oh,
my 2 boys are 13 and 9. They'd kill each other. So
no, they would have a blast. They'd have a blast.
Somebody would end up on the floor.
Yeah.
It's more entertainment.
It's true though. Like I can see it's fighting over that last chicken tender. I can see it.
It would happen. Well, here, let me ask you this, Matt. Because Heather, you haven't been there before yet. Matt, what did you get to eat? Did you get a burger?
I either got the burger. I want to say they had salmon.
Okay.
One night.
Okay.
You mean it was 4.5, 5 years ago?
Because the 1 year that we went, the first year that we went, actually, I got ribs here, and it was a mistake. I think I did not enjoy it. I didn't want to come back, and somebody said, "No, you have to go back, but get Sci-Fi's burgers. Don't do anything else other than their burgers. You can't go wrong with that." And we went back, and every time we've gone back since, I'll usually try to get a different burger because they actually have seasonal burgers here, which really makes this menu nice. So
I think one of the things that's nice about all of the Disney restaurants is that I know personally I have a food allergy, but I know they work with you on everything.
Yes.
So that should be noted at some point because I know there's probably somebody out there saying, I got this allergy, I got this allergy, I got this allergy. They will work with you on whatever allergy you have, no matter how weird it is. And trust me when I say weird, because mine is weird. So just know that they'll work with you. So whether it's this place in particular and you need like a gluten-free bun or whatever the situation is, they'll work with you. And that's what I like about a lot of the restaurants that I chose is because my son has I have a specific allergy and my son has specific needs that need to be met with it. They work with you on everything.
Yeah, that's a really great point, Heather. We just did a podcast. What was it now? 2 weeks ago, Matt?
Yeah.
On some of the
it was a while ago.
Dietary stuff. So, but yeah, Heather, you're totally right. They will work with you really anywhere when you're on property to eat. So,
yeah,
which is really, really nice, really, really great about Disney. So, shall we move on?
Yep, we're the final
Perfect.
2.
So my number 2 is Tusker House. My kids love that place.
I would agree with your kids. So I don't know what it is about this place. It might just be because it's at Animal Kingdom and I love the Animal Kingdom park and the whole theme. But I think this is also for me has a little bit of wow, I can't think of the name of it. This was like the first restaurant that I ever went to when I came with Taylor's family way back in 2009.
Mine
And,
too.
and yeah, and I think it's just it's part of that makes me like really enjoy it so much more. And I love the theming, and I think the buffet is great.
This
too.
is the one place my kids will experiment.
Oh, that's
Here-
awesome.
Here in Boma.
Really?
So
that's
for
really
me,
great.
those two are right next to each other as far as my kids were concerned. This won out because it has the characters for my kids. But those are the two places my kids will experiment with food because it looks good.
Oh wow, that's
Yeah.
really cool that that this is a place for them to do that. Boma, I'm honestly really surprised about Boma because I feel like Boma is even a little bit more maybe themed to those spices. So
Yep.
it's a little bit of that different cuisine, but that's really cool. That's awesome.
And we don't do spicy up here in Minnesota.
Right.
Some people do. My family, not so much. Like Buffalo Wild Wings is too spicy for my family. So,
Oh wow.
Whoa.
yeah.
Yeah, this is the image that's up right now. If you guys can see that, this is actually like the buffet area. It's actually, I don't know, as far as the buffet line goes, it might not be the longest or the biggest of all the restaurants, but it's really spaced out, which is really nice. Normally in the center areas where you're going to have I think like your breads and your donuts, pastries.
Fruit.
But
I think your salads and stuff are in the far left corner.
yes, I believe that is correct.
And then not on the screen is a carving station to the right.
Yeah, way over here on the right side.
Yeah.
Y'all are making me hungry.
I know. And now I will say that unfortunately right now Tusker House is not open. I don't think that there has been an announcement of when it will reopen, but
Not a peep.
hopefully here soon with more restaurants opening up at the end of the month or more resorts opening up at the end of the month on Disney property, we'll see more restaurants open, including Tusker House. So
Right.
This is on my list of if it happens type things.
right.
Because they ask for this one and my number one choice every single time we come to Disney.
Okay. All right. Matt?
So my number 2, I'm going a little simple on this. I'm going beaches and cream.
Oh man.
I would normally go like every kid likes a cheeseburger, a chicken
Ice
tenders.
cream.
And what's a great end of a day for a family to try to knock out the kitchen sink. Like I don't. That's the end of the day right there. Put the kids in the food coma and go to bed.
There it is right there.
That and Josh, I think it's been a few years now, but you finished that, right?
I think we may have actually tried to do this twice. We did it once, I think, with my sisters, and I really liked the thumbnail image that we used for it because it's just me looking like I'm about to pass out. And I don't even know that we actually got food to eat that day. I think we literally just went in and we said we're gonna get the kitchen sink because we don't think we're gonna be able to finish it if we eat anything else because it is a ton of ice cream. And if you look at the image, they put a lot of toppings on there. A lot of toppings.
So this place is on my list to try when we come. This one is in particular because my kids saw that picture,
Right.
and they go, Mom?
Yeah.
In the food there is fun. The shakes. Look at those shakes right there.
The shakes are good.
That could put you into a diabetic coma is what that
I
looks
mean,
like.
I went in October. Sorry, not in October. I was there in December, and the food is just phenomenal. Since the renovation, they got more seating, and even if you're by yourself and you like, I was a party of one. The ice cream sundaes for like just a single person, they're still huge and they're phenomenal. Like I had this Reese's peanut butter thing that was just like that put me out. Let's put me with the kitchen sink. Who knows what will happen?
Yeah, this image right here of the restaurant is, boy, I almost want to say if you look and you kind of see that middle divider right there that's starting to come across the room, that was about the extent of how big the restaurant used to be.
Right.
Used to be super small, not a lot of seats. It was impossible to get a reservation for this place, and you had to have one to sit down. And since they have expanded it, it's been a lot easier to get a reservation for here, which is really nice. So
Gives me hope.
I think you guys will be fine.
Heather, actually, I scored a reservation like 2 hours before. I was over at Art of Animation, just scrolling. I'm like, oh, what am I going to get for dinner? Let's see. And then it popped up. I literally threw my shoes on, got on the Skyliner. I was there in 10, 15 minutes.
Nice, because that's where we're staying when we go in October. So,
oh man, that ice cream.
This is a stop on our list.
With a whole can of whipped cream, right?
Oh my gosh. And
you don't like whipped cream. I think the world knows.
I would normally ask for without the whipped cream, but everybody else in my party liked whipped cream. So Taylor and my sisters were like, "No, we want whipped cream."
And you didn't do this one, right? You did.
We did the chocolate. All chocolate, yes. Because I'm not a fan of some of the other flavors in there, and I think the all chocolate is a pretty decent one to go with. Aside from the Milky Ways that they put in there, I don't like the Milky Ways, but is what it is. So,
so there's 2 different flavor types.
There's 3 actually, I think.
Oh, there's 3.
I think so. Here, I can pull up the menu here real quick.
Check out that menu.
While we're looking at it, let's see. We've got the entrees. Let's see. They have the ice creams on here.
It's at the bottom. I spend a lot of time on these menus.
Oh my gosh, are we there yet?
Where is it?
Look at it. Well, hey, we were talking about allergy stuff. Look at this menu has almost like
very thorough.
Over half the menu is allergy stuff, which is really great.
Oh, what's it right there?
Hold on, there it is.
Sundays on the beach.
No, Josh, it's right there.
It's the top one right there, Josh.
Serves 4. Yeah, here we go. So scoops of vanilla chocolate, strawberry cookies and cream, and mint chocolate chips smothered in every topping we have. Also available as the chocolate lovers or the Neapolitan. So 3 different.
I think I'd go chocolate probably.
Oh, we would do the variety.
Well,
my kids would each take a scoop.
Yeah, you know what? Now that I look at this, the original vanilla chocolate, strawberry cookies and cream, milk chocolate chip smothered. That one actually probably wouldn't be too bad. The Neapolitan, maybe not, but
I think I'd go chocolate. Like, and I'm not a big chocolate guy, but I think just the one chocolate flavor, along with the toppings would be better for my exquisite palate.
I have a brother who doesn't like anything chocolate, so we would have to go with something else because he wouldn't eat any of it.
or he can just watch.
Oh, Kevin's not that type.
I think this is going to be a challenge for some of us agents at GoldCon. Maybe.
We should do that. Let's add that in.
That is a good one.
Well, let's get a whole bunch of us together and get a whole bunch of kitchen sinks, and let's knock those out. And I think that would be very entertaining. I can see one agent already. He has internal debates every time if he should do it by himself. Eric, you're the best.
Perfect. So we want to move on to our final kind of our really it's actually I'm going to just say Heather, this is your number 1.
Yep.
'Cause this was your list.
Yep.
So
mine is Chef Mickey's. My kids it's their thing. Every time we go, my son's like, "Okay, Mom, when the last time we went, we did Chef Mickey's 3 times because my kids love it that much."
Oh, wow.
Yep. And every time we come to Disney World, our trips are between 10 to 14 days.
Okay.
So we have a wide variety of time. And my kids, the first day we got there, the last time we weren't planning on going, and I managed to get a reservation the night before we were supposed to go to any of the parks. And I got a reservation from the get-go at like 9:00 at night for like 8:00 the next morning.
Wow.
And that's how much my kids love Chef Mickey's. And it was like a fool for me not to put it as my number one for my kids.
Now,
Because they love the parade, they love the characters, they love the food. Like, this was another place where one of the few places my son will eat everything.
is it do they enjoy one over the other as far as meeting, Mickey and friends here over the food, or as opposed to anything else? Or is it just, I mean, I know you had said that, they kind of love everything, but is it just that they really do just love everything here?
Yeah, for this particular one, it's everything here. It's the fact that they get to sit there and watch the monorail go overhead. It's,
cool.
This to them is nostalgic Disney. If I say we're going to Disney World and Chef Mickey's isn't like anywhere involved, I would have like a coup on my hands.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and my one son, like I said earlier, has an eating disorder, and for him to say I'll eat there and not like second guess anything that we put on his plate or he puts on his plate, to me is a win as a mom. And so it's, like I said, there's a perfect picture of the monorail going overhead, the characters, the food. It's simple food. So know that going in. It's, there's not a taste of your palate here. It's very simple food for, I want to say, aimed towards kids or people with a very simple eating palate.
Yeah, this is 100% a restaurant that is based for kids, or I agree completely with what you're saying, Heather, because for me personally, I don't like going here because when I think about like the price and the type of food that I'm getting, it's really nice to meet Mickey and friends. But, for me, this is not a place that I want to go for those reasons. But this is 100% one of the best places for kids. Taylor's sisters always love going here. The rest of her family always love going here for the exact same reasons that you just said, which is that it's simplistic. And I mean, just look at the colors and the design of the place.
Right.
And the staff there is amazing.
Yes.
Like, they're absolutely amazing in what they do and how they do it. Now, I will say we've only eaten breakfast there every single time we go because that's the meal my kids choose there. But the staff is amazing. They actually let my son sign the check because we had the dining plan the last time we went. So they let him sign a check. They celebrated my kids' birthdays. They made it 100% about my kids.
That's awesome.
That's
really, really cool.
And so if you're looking for somewhere to go and you're thinking, I just want something easy. Yes, it is a little bit more on the spendier side. But when I have clients who say, I want to see Mickey, this is where I send them.
Right. Makes sense. Makes 100% sense.
So, but yeah, you can tell I'm passionate about it.
Right.
Oh, of course. I mean, like you said, I mean, it's really is a great place for kids. And they, they kind of they definitely put the kids, first, which is really nice. So, would it be on my top list?
Probably not.
For me and Taylor? Probably not. But if I have, someday, Taylor and I have kids, or we come down with family that have kids, like, this is definitely a place that we recommend to them because it is, for all the reasons that you mentioned, Heather, really great. So, Matt, you got a number one?
Yep. Mine was already talked about. I'm going number one. I'm going over to Animal Kingdom. I'm going Tusker House.
Okay.
I'm going to say that it is probably the best character. I'm going to go past tense right now because who knows what's going to happen when it reopens. The best character buffet on property. It's
wow.
Yeah. I challenge me.
I actually have a picture of our first visit to Disney World. It was back in 2013. And it's a picture when they had Donald when you walked in. And you kind of like when you go into Cinderella's Royal Table, they have Cinderella there that you can meet, like all this stuff going on. They actually had Donald Duck that you got to meet before you even sat down. So I have a picture of me with my brothers and my parents meeting Donald Duck for the first time.
Yeah.
And it was the one restaurant we did And this is the trip that we decided that the dining plan was happening every single trip from there on.
We have I have a picture similar in the fact that we did the photo outside with Donald, but this was the first trip that I'd ever gone on with Taylor's family. And the first day that we're in Disney, the first restaurant we go to, it's breakfast. And Taylor's aunt just walks over and just puts her, I don't know how old Davis was at the time, maybe like 2-3 years old. She just puts him in my arms and says, "Here, Josh, hold him," taking a picture. And it was like us and some of the kids. And we still have that picture. And it was fun. It was a good experience. And again, like I said, nostalgically for me, I love Tusker House. Would I put it as number one? It'd be close up there, Matt.
I think I'm a big fan of breakfast there. You can't go wrong with pog juice. I could probably drink gallons and gallons and gallons of it. I think they get mad at me when I'm there, where it's like they fill my cup, they turn around and my cup's empty.
You know what I'm gonna do, Matt? Now that we're talking about this, I'm gonna get a bladder, right? I'm gonna have it empty whenever I go in, and I'm just gonna take my cup and I'm just gonna start filling it full, the bladder full of pog juice, so I can take it with me.
My kids hate juice, and they love the juice at Tusker House.
Yeah. And then the food there, Josh, is like you can go from something a little bit different to your, like we talked about earlier, a little bit different to your palate, a little bit cultured food there. Or you can have, like I said, I've been breakfast, or you can just go simple and have a Mickey waffle.
Yeah.
Or the Krispy Kreme good old mini donuts.
Yep.
I'm a big fan of breakfast is they have a carving station.
They do. Oh, it's good.
I crush that.
Taylor loves the carving station. It's obviously where it's at, it should be the first place to start anyways, but it's like it's her first and last place. So but I wanna do a little honorable mention here.
Yeah.
That we didn't talk about. It still is not open and probably won't be open for a while. But that's Ohana.
Yep.
I saw somebody bring this up in the chat, and I couldn't believe that I hadn't even thought about it. Mostly because, for whatever reason, whenever we have people that come down and visit, this is another place that we seem to go to, and it seems like we're here far too often, and my stomach can't handle it. But they have a character breakfast, and then they have kind of like a regular dinner without characters. So you can kind of get a mix of both at this restaurant. You can meet Lilo, Stitch, or maybe not Lilo, sorry, Stitch and...
No, I thought at one point Lilo was there.
Oh, it is Lilo. Yeah, it's Lilo and Stitch. And then
Mickey.
Disney friends.
Yeah.
Yep. So this is one restaurant we haven't done yet. And this was on my list it's on my second list. Because this is just one place. My son is an absolute fanatic of Stitch. And the fact that he'd get that chance, it's one of those on the list type of things, bucket list item.
It's fantastic. It's all you care to eat, really. For me, this is the steak skewers here. This is what Taylor really enjoys. I think they used to have steak, chicken, pork, and shrimp, and I think they may have gotten rid of the pork, and it's just steak, chicken, and shrimp now. But if you guys, anybody out there has seen our dining reviews before, I have been known to devour several skewers of shrimp to the point where usually whoever the server is usually gives me a questionable look. And I'm like, don't you give me that look. Just wait. It'll be a pile of shells. This is a great one. This is another one that Taylor's family, when they come down, it's one that we always have to go to. And we really enjoy it. The quality, I think, of the food is always pretty good. And what's this? Is Pam throwing this up there because we might try to do this for GoldCon?
I think the agents that we have, knowing who's going on the GoldCon, the people at Ohana they're not going to be very nice to us, because we're just going to crush food.
We're going to be the exception of we're going to be stealing money from them basically because we're going to eat so much.
They're going to come over to the table and be like, "Excuse me, guys, we don't have any shrimp left. We are out of shrimp." sorry, you have to go.
Oh, that would be the worst news ever.
But like, I just actually got a text message, Josh. Someone and not online right now asked me like about an honorable mention that I talked about a little bit offline is the Hoop-de-Doo review.
Oh my gosh!
I mean, I think for a family, you mean ribs? You got some fried chicken. For the adults, isn't it all the beer and sangria included? Sometimes the adults need to stay hydrated.
This is an all you care to enjoy, dinner show. Basically, they don't have any images up here because it is temporarily unavailable. But
hopefully it comes back.
I think it will. This is a hugely successful dinner show. It's been running for years, and I have said numerous times that if you're thinking about doing Spirit of Aloha at Poly or doing Hoop-de-Doo Review, you have to pick between one of them. Hoop-de-Doo Review is the way to go. I think that there's far more. Well, there's way more of that comedic side of the show. You don't really get that at Spirit of Aloha, and it's a show that's designed to entertain the kids, but also have some adult humor in there as well for the adults. So you can't go wrong. And it's all you care to eat barbecue. Oh my gosh! So
you can't go wrong with barbecue,
right? Of course.
I mean,
of course.
Up here, we only get barbecue so many months out of the year. That to go on vacation and get barbecue,
right?
Because you don't barbecue in negative 30-degree weather. At least we don't. I know people who do, but we don't. So this is all the ones on my list are ones we've done.
Yeah,
I didn't want to pick ones that I haven't done because I saw that one and that's one we absolutely want to do. But it's kind of a waiting to see when it opens type of thing.
And I think that this is a list that can be very fluid. It really depends. Some people may have taken their kids to Hoop-de-Doo Review before and their kids had a terrible time. It just sometimes it kind of just depends on your kids. It depends on your whole thing. The last time that we were at Hoop-de-Doo, there is always some guy who wants nothing to do with it, doesn't want to be a part of the show, and they know that. And so that's who they pick on because it's entertainment for everybody else and it's great. So just be aware that if you haven't done it before, this is a show that you can very much become part of the show.
That would be my husband, and I would videotape that bad boy.
Please do so.
Yes.
He will hurt me. No, just kidding. But that'll be a video that would happen in my book because I couldn't resist it.
Yeah.
He'd be the one doing this. You don't see me, like it's not happening. So
like you said, Josh, these lists can just change so much. Like Whispering Canyon, it's not like amazing, but it's like I would sucker. Like if I was with kids, I'd sucker them into asking for ketchup 62 times. And see what happens.
Kids. Listen, my friend, I sucker adults who have never been in there before into asking for ketchup. Just so that they can have the embarrassment of the server yelling across the room, "We need ketchup over here." And of course, I get some scowls from whoever it is, but
it's all in due fun.
It is all in fun. The best
my
part
9-year-old would eat that alive.
Well, the best part is that depending on how you get in there, they may catch on to it very quickly, right? Somebody may say ketchup, and they catch on to, I better not say that. But what a lot of people don't know is that if that has happened, what you should do is ask that person to take a bottle of ketchup from another table. The repercussions are quite hilarious, if I do say so myself. As long as they have been caught by the server, they have to be caught by the server. But
so many ideas, Josh, for my kids.
I know. So it's a great time, and you're right, Matt. There's a ton of places here that that you could add to this list. So that we didn't even mention, really.
Yeah.
But
so many options, so many you could my friend Jeff actually just posted "Be Our Guest." I mean,
I personally would disagree with this one because I don't like "Be Our Guest," but families love "Be Our Guest."
Right.
So this is definitely a quick service option.
A good quick. a good quick service option?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because my kids wouldn't eat any of the food that they serve at dinner, but the stuff that they serve at lunch with the quick service, would be on our list for a quick service one.
Okay. I would rather do quick service there than the sit down dinner. So, maybe I should just come and eat with your kids, Heather. I think we would get along very well.
You are more than welcome, Josh.
So, yeah, well, awesome. I think this was a great episode.
It was awesome.
I obviously have to mention the fact that if you're having trouble planning your vacation, if you're having trouble booking dining reservations, it's a really good thing that we add into the service that we do in travel planning for Disney stuff. So we can help you book your dining reservations. It doesn't cost you anything extra. Heather knows all about that. Matt knows all about that. I know all about that. And it can be stressful. So why not let your travel agent take care of that stress for you? And it's a little bit more magical later on down the road. So I think that's it for this week's topic. Matt, you want to add? Go ahead.
Next week, I'm just going to say one word. It's not even really a word. It's two things put together. Maslahoma. Be here next week.
Oh, boy.
That's all I'm going to say.
Okay.
Ready for the craziness of Maslahoma.
I'm going to try to prepare myself. I might step out next week. I'll just let you guys have it.
Me and the ladies are taking over the show next week.
So, oh boy.
Have fun.
Right? We'll see what happens. I'm sure it'll be fine.
In the topic, if the topic is, we're going to have a few agents on. So the topic is going to be top 3 quick services on property.
We're only going to do top 3?
Well, we got me and the 3 other agents, so it comes out to like a lot.
Okay. All right.
I mean, we know, no offense, we all love Mary Ann, but we know her top 3 could turn into a top 45 real quickly.
That is probably true. I don't know if Marianne is still in the chat. I haven't seen her popping up. What's that?
We say that with love, though.
Of course.
Absolutely.
Especially, she got me the Orange Bird bucket hat, and she sends you gummy bears.
Yes, which I could use a resupply, of course. I will add this. If you are looking to book a vacation, you can reach out to Heather. Her email is in the comments. It's in the chat box, the window there for you guys to see. I guess, Heather, if there was some special. If you had something specific in Disney, right, that you were maybe more well trained on, more experienced with, what is something that, like, would it be food allergies, so to speak? Is that something that people could reach out to you for?
So I'm new to food allergies because I just got diagnosed a few years ago with my food allergy, but like I said, I've spreadsheets that I use for dining plans and for with people clients who contact me. I actually have spreadsheets that I do for them and making sure that they get what they want, where they need, you know what I mean? So it's kind of, I think this is where I love to be, is with the food stuff. Awesome.
So awesome. Very, very good. Excellent. Well, that you're going to have an excellent travel planner helping you with all of those hard to get dining reservations with Heather. So if you're interested, send her an email, let her know, and she can help start planning your next vacation. Probably not tonight, but maybe tomorrow. So we will also add that if you're interested in joining the Goldgell Getaways team, we are looking for some new agents to join our team. And what's really great about Goldgell Getaways is that you don't have to sell just Disney. If you want to do cruises, you want to do all inclusive, you want to do Disney and everything else. We don't really pigeonhole you into anything specific. We kind of give you the world is your oyster, so to speak. That may have been the wrong phrase, but I think you guys get the picture. So you can send an email to I'm going to send the wrong email here. But just to get people in the general location, if you're interested, you can send an email to info@goldgellgetaways.com. Pam will probably quickly throw up a different email. And we should have a link down in the description below, or you can always send us a message across social media. And with that, I think that concludes this week's episode of Goldgell Getaways Travel Podcast, episode number 9, top something number of sit-down restaurants for families here on Walt Disney World property. Matt, I will send it to you.
Now we're off to plan your next vacation.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.